Water cycle project with Gibby and River. And the first step of the water cycle that I'm going to talk to you guys about today is evaporation. And as shown here by these arrows, the water from either streams, lakes, rivers, and ponds, or even a glass of water that you left out on the porch, will eventually, due to the heat, rise up and form clouds when the water droplets collect onto dust particles in the air, in our atmosphere. And after evaporation, we have precipitation. And precipitation is up here in the clouds. It is when the clouds get too heavy and have too much moisture in them that they can no longer hold it, and the rain or the water droplets fall down. And it can come in many different forms, such as rain, snow, sleet, hail, etc. And that is how rain works, I guess. After precipitation, we have transpiration. And transpiration is when a plant, not necessarily a tree, but I guess it can happen, where a plant takes up the water from the ground, and it uses the water, filters it through its system, and out the pores, the tiny pores on the leaves secrete the water back out under the ground around the plant, so that way the plant can keep reusing the water and it won't dry up. And after transpiration, we have condensation. And condensation is, I guess you could say it's up here too when evaporation happens. It's when the tiny little water droplets collect on the warmer surface area of the dust particles in the air. Or you can take it as like when you have a glass of water outside, a cold glass of water with ice in it, and you bring it outside on a summer day, you're going to have the water droplets that form on the outside of the cup. And that's condensation, because when the water went into the cup was warmer than the water and the ice were. And then when you brought it outside, it's made it even warmer. So when the ice started to melt and the water got even colder, the droplets would form on the outside of the glass.
Okay, I'm going to talk to you guys about the other parts of the water cycle. The first part is water storage, and that's when water is naturally stored underground in aquifers and in the soil, and over time it'll eventually rise to the surface and be evaporated. The second part that I'm going to talk about is water vapor, which is due to evaporation, and that's when water in its liquid state, or H2O, is heated up so much that it turns from a liquid to a gas and rises up into like the atmosphere. And then that will bring us into relative humidity, which is when there's space in the air for the water molecules and the water vapor to go into, which will make the air seem heavier and a lot warmer than it is, which is due to like the water density compared to the air. And that usually happens after rain or on summer mornings in the summer. And if there's a 100% humidity, that means there's 100% air molecules, or 100% water molecules. There's no air molecules. If there's 0% relative humidity, which is highly unlikely, that means there's 0 water molecules in the air. And one of the last steps is the clouds, which was mentioned by Gibby earlier, when dust particles get clung to by water molecules and water vapor and goes up, and then the clouds get too heavy, or they condense from the coldness, and the water gets too heavy for the clouds to carry, and it falls as precipitation. And when that happens, it forms dew point. And dew point ties in with relative humidity in the clouds, is when the water is rising. If it's too cold out for the water to keep rising, it will condense before it reaches high enough to form a cloud and fall on the ground, primarily at night in the summertime, or on your cars if they're metal, or anything warmer than it. And that's why when you wake up in the morning, the grass is usually dewy, as the weather stations call it.